Right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into another edition of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. A Friday edition. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff to get into, as always. All right, the hour one of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's Hamilton, TEL.com. How old's your kid again? Remind me.
He's 4 years old.
Does he? You gotta bear with me. My kids at the age of 4 is a blur at this point. After you've had 6 of them,
Yeah.
It's like they were 4. What? So I don't remember. I know they start usually talking. I think it's around the age of 2 or something like that. Like, can you have like a mini conversation with them?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, he's expanding his vocab every day.
So my kids will come home from school. You ask them, what they did at school. This particular clip we're going to play of Steve Carell was when I asked my kid what the coach said at the end of the game. So you can look at it that way, or you can just look at it as trying to talk to your teenager and get anything out of them that makes any sort of sense. And this is what I usually hear, or what I usually get from my wonderful teenagers and kids in general. But go ahead, roll that clip.
That I something in somebody something, and if discovered, then someone will get something. I may have said too much.
I may have said too much. You said absolutely nothing, and you may have said too much. If you can relate to that, if you've got kids, or just someone you know in general, and you can relate to that type of answer, let us know on the text line. What's the text line number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
You probably get more than that out of your 4-year-old, don't you?
Not much more. I don't know what it is. I thought that it would be later on where you ask a kid about what goes on at school. He's been at school for like a week. Every time I ask him, he's there for hours, and I just he won't tell me what he does there. I can't get anything out of him.
I'll never forget my oldest came home. It wasn't their first year of school, but it was like around 3rd or 4th grade. How was school? Good. What'd you do? Nothing. Did you learn anything? Yes. What'd you learn? Stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was exact. No, that's the exact conversation, because we would have it every day after school. I'm stubborn as all get out, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep asking. And one day I'm going to get more out of them. I don't know that I ever have. And they're in high school now. I'm just like, I'm afraid I've said too much. And it's like they don't want to give you the information. My dad has a joke, because in all fairness, I was pretty much the same way. My dad had a rule I had to give him more than one-word answers. So that tells you how much I would give him. So now when he's talking, especially to my teenagers, he'll ask them a question, and they'll respond with like a one-word answer. He'll go, or the better, it's even better if they respond with like 3 words. How was your day? It was good. He'll be like, oh, that was more than 1 word. That was 3, like almost a celebration. Like instead of saying good, they said it was good. All right. Anything off the text line, Jake? Can anybody relate out there?
I'm sure everybody can. Nothing on the text line yet,
right.
but
okay. Loaded show. What does Nebraska need to do versus Houston Christian? I think most people expect us to win. Most people expect it to be a blowout. But what do we need to do? Because after the Cincinnati game, I wasn't uber panicked. But I was like, we do need to get better. We have 3 weeks to get better, and we can't waste a week. We can't waste a day with an opportunity to get better. So Saturday is another opportunity to get better. Nebraska, did they start? Let me ask you this. Did they start to develop like un poquito of a killer instinct a little bit? Just like the beginnings of a killer instinct. Like when you're a kid and you start to draw. You're all over the lines, but you're starting to color, I mean. And then eventually, like a year later, you can actually color within the lines. Like, you've got to start somewhere. Do you think they started the developings of a killer instinct just a little bit with the way they played in the second half?
I mean, I think you could say that. Again, it's all about kind of, perspective. And like you said, maybe the beginning stages of it. But, first, like you said, against Cincinnati, you make the play. You can say maybe Malcolm Hartzog has the killer instinct, others don't. But it's a team-wide game, and you finally make that play. But to your kind of point, too, and to what this weekend provides and what last weekend provides, your opportunity to build that, build the depth, build the, the foundation of your team. So I think in ways, I think you could say that. And I think that there's plenty of ways that second half could have gone on. More often than not, it's a 14-3 score or whatever. You run the ball, run the clock out, and get out of there. But to use that to develop, to use that to maybe gain confidence throughout, I think you could say there's a little bit of a killer instinct starting to populate within the team.
My point is, there are things that need to happen tomorrow because you can't take a step backwards. Nebraska won the first game. Nebraska won the second game. Nebraska needs full 3 weeks, 2 games and 3 weeks of practice. We got 1 game and then 1 week of practice before them boys in yellow and blue. Was it maize and blue? Is that what they say?
That's right.
I like yellow. I don't know why. I don't like yellow. I just like saying yellow. Maybe it's to irk the boys that are coming in soon. The maize and blue are coming in here. And we can't waste a game. We can't waste a week. We can't waste a day. So what does Nebraska need to accomplish? With all due respect to Houston Christian, I'm going to take the win for granted. And if we can't, we got bigger issues. I'm pretty sure I'm safe in saying we should expect to beat Houston Christian. But what do we need to do? What do we need to accomplish beyond that? Because we can't go backwards from last week. We can't waste a day of getting better because that is something we need to do. I saw a thing yesterday. I about fell over. We are tied for the 12th best odds in the country to make the college football playoff. Did you see that?
I haven't seen that yet.
Is there anything off the text line you can fill about 10 seconds with while I look this up?
It's just crazy. We do have a few responses here from our initial conversation. 1972 says, I get 3 words from any questions I have to my children. Good, nothing, or fine.
It's like an A, B, or C multiple choice.
Augie said, my 12-year-old grandson told me after his first week what he learned was a fiestada was a Mexican pizza.
Wow. That's a lot of info.
That is a lot of good
info.
That's
actually impressive.
And then as far as the football stuff, we got a few things. 0739 says, no injuries this weekend, and also give backups good playing time is what he expects. Anthony says, keep the special team momentum going. That's what they're looking for this weekend.
All valid points. All valid points. By the way, I was wrong. We're tied for 13th.
Oh.
The 13th best odds. We are tied with Utah. So Ohio State, 82.1% chance of making the playoff. Then you got Oregon, Texas, Georgia. USC is at 60%.
It's scoring a lot of points.
Ole Miss, Penn State, Tennessee, Alabama, USF. There's your G5, because I was like, okay, if we're tied for 13th, there's really a G5 team that would be ahead of us, even if their percentage odds of getting into the playoff aren't as great. No. There's USF at 35%. Miami, Auburn, and then Nebraska and Utah are tied at 27.6% chance of making the playoff.
I wonder how much of that has to do with Michigan losing to Oklahoma, and maybe the mind shifts change from Michigan's going to win that game. I know you called it Nebraska, but if you stand back from a national spotlight, that you might say, okay, here's 2 games that Nebraska's not favored in, Penn State and Michigan, and now that Michigan game more up in the air.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. I wonder. Now, to be clear, I put 0 stock into that. We go out and we lose versus Michigan, and we're going to plummet to about the 100th best odds in the country. So I put 0 stock into it. I was just like, whoa, really? Because I was like, I saw the graphic, the teams with the best chance to make the college football playoff. Okay. There's like 50 teams in this graphic. We're in the top 50. Where are we at? And I was like, wait, we're not on the right side, where it's like 35 through 50. We're not in the middle. Are we just not on this list at all? And then I saw us tied for 13th, and I was like, holy Moses Malone. Wait, I'm waving to some fans here. How's it going?
That's right.
Throw the bones at me. There we go. They're throwing the bones. And I was like, holy Moses Malone. We are tied for 13th in the country. Doesn't mean anything. We go out and beat Michigan. There's a lot more validity put into that. We go out and we lose to Michigan. It's not that the season's over. I'm going to shock you when I tell you the Michigan game is huge, but then we'll go on to play Michigan State. We'll have another game after that. Like, it's the whole season does not hinge on the Michigan game, even though it feels like it does. And it is absolutely the most important game of the season so far. Although, had we lost to Cincinnati, we would view that a little bit differently. But I really think we need to continue to show improvement in the areas that we haven't been the strongest in so far this year. Matt Rule made it clear in his halftime speech, and he even said something in one of his press conferences this week, getting after the quarterback. He said, if we ain't getting after the quarterback in his halftime speech, I want a whole group of new rushers in. That's clearly at the top of his list. We still have yet to prevent a team from getting 100 yards rushing. The opposing running back from not averaging 5 yards per carry. Cincinnati and Akron both did that. So there are things we need to improve on. I would love to see us not allow 100 yards rushing. Houston Christian wants to run the ball. Probably not even as talented as Akron. And Akron didn't come in here, overly impressing anybody with the eye test, so to speak. I hate the word eye test, which is why I hesitated so much, but I couldn't think of anything else to say. But they're going to try to run the ball. Can we hold them under 100 yards rushing? Dare I say even under 89, because that's what Wyoming held Akron to, and it still irks me that we gave up more rushing yards to Akron than Wyoming. Can we get like 3-4 sacks? Or have a much higher consistent pressure rate? Because like I mentioned, I forget which day it was, Monday, Tuesday, might have been yesterday. Like if the opponent throws 40 times in a game and you get 4 sacks, that's a lot of sacks. It's also a terrible pressure rate if you're not getting in. Like, there's ways of knocking the quarterback down, hand in the face, batted balls. Like, your pressure rate needs to be exponentially higher. So sometimes sack totals can tell the story, and sometimes not always. Pressures, hits, knockdowns, batted balls, and sacks. That's the whole story. That all needs to increase. That pressure rate needs to increase. The average yards per carry we're giving up to starting running backs and to teams as a whole. It was still over 3 yards versus Akron to the team as a whole. A team that didn't even get 90 yards rushing versus Wyoming. Offensively, I want to see us punch it in the red zone. It is nice to know that if we don't make it, like if we don't get it in the end zone, we can make the field goal this year. Like,
that's huge.
Dude,
absolutely.
Speak on that for a second, because I don't think that's been talked about enough.
Yeah, as usual, field goal kickers get overlooked. But I mean, when you're an offensive coordinator, you're thinking about getting into field goal range. I mean, that's what made guys like Alex Henry or somebody so special. You get close to you past your half of the field, you could get some points out of this drive. And then on the opposite end of that, when you can't even trust, your field goal unit to go in there and kick it from the 10-yard line. I mean, it puts more pressure on every call that you make first through fourth down, through third down and leading up to fourth down. And you have to take chances that might not other take, or you go out there and just say, well, let's see if we get 3 points out of it. And that's what it was last year. Every year it was like holding your breath. If you're a Nebraska fan, like, is this where something goes terribly wrong? And half the time it did. So it kind of played out like that. I mean, that is, I can't remember. Man, I was watching another game. I can't remember which team it was, but they had a similar problem, and it just changes the whole dynamic of the game.
It really does. So the fact that we know we can get 3 points, that's a huge, huge upgrade from recent years. But we've also had 10 possessions. I'm sorry, not 10 possessions. We've also had 3 possessions inside the opponent's 10-yard line, 5-yard line, excuse me, in the 1-yard line in 2 games where we got a total of 3 points. And I talked about that earlier this week. You can't have that. Yeah, I got no problem. You'll go for it on fourth down. That's awesome. I love the mentality. I really don't have an issue with Emmett diving for the end zone. There's a little bit more ball security on that one particular fumble, but it's an aggressive attempt at a play. I got no problem with that. Just 2 hands when you dive, not 1. Something like that. We got to be more efficient in the red zone. And I want to see either somebody else back there returning kickoffs, or whoever is back there getting more return yards when they do it. One or the other. Whatever that is. So to me, those are the things I want to see improvement in. I don't want to see any lag in anything that we've been doing well. No letdown. Because my single biggest thing that I believe we need to do this weekend, all right, is we need to continue to develop a killer instinct. Because if we go out and we're up 33-0 at halftime, and the final score is 39-0, there was a letdown. If we go out in the first half, with all due respect to Houston Christian, and we're up 10-0 at halftime, there was a letdown. I'm not saying we have to win 68-0, 69-0, 81-0. I'm not saying anything like that. I said 56-7 was my score prediction. And if that's the final score, I would take that. Again, Houston Christian's gonna run the ball more. We'll have less possessions. We probably won't have as much opportunities to score. Clock will go a little bit faster. It's only going to be about 1,000,000 degrees on Saturday. So that's okay. But I want to see a first half that picks up where the second half of Akron left off, and a second half of Houston Christian that picks up where the first half left off, because that will show me, beyond just the things that we've been talking about that we need to improve on, that will show me the mental side of the game is starting to kick in. The killer instinct is starting to kick in. We will, at that point, if that happens, we will have beaten two teams soundly, and more soundly than we've beaten anybody in over a decade. 2 weeks in a row, despite the opposition. We will have found a way to win a game, despite how we got to that win. We will have found a way to win a game in the same exact style and type of game that we normally find a way to lose a game. And those things matter as you head into Michigan and you head into Big Ten play and a much improved Michigan State team. By the way, Michigan State had the offensive player of the week and the defensive player of the week in the Big Ten. Michigan State's better. And Jake, their quarterback, can run. Just saying. So to me, yes, red zone offense, kick returns on special teams. Let's not kick the ball out of bounds on kickoffs, stopping the run consistently, getting after the quarterback, a higher pressure rate consistently. Sacks will follow, all of that. But I want to see a first half that picks up where the second half versus Akron left off, and a second half versus Houston Christian that picks up where the first half left off. And that will show me maybe the most important thing we need to continue to develop, which is a killer instinct. We found a way to win a close game. Then we beat a team the way we should. And it's weird to say, but Akron and Houston Christian could actually be really, really good for Nebraska, being healthy, being fresh, having momentum, and develop some things that we need to develop, including the mental side of the game. Those are my biggest things that I think Nebraska needs to do on Saturday. What say you? What say the text line?
Yeah, I mean, I'm specifically circling that, the kickoff out of bounds, which we've seen each time because the special teams has been fantastic other than that. And that's, about thinking that you can get placement, hold them down as much as you can. At some point, if that keeps happening, you just kick it straight out of the end zone. And they've got three guys with legs that can kick 50 yarders. I'm sure they could find one of them that can kick it out of the end zone. So I'm interested to see if they do that. Remember, 2009 game when Texas, the 1 second left, that was like the one time Addy Canale kicked it out of bounds. That can cost you, is what I'm trying to say. About that. Yeah. So it's all, that's the biggest thing. Here's one, well, not the biggest thing, but a small detail I'm looking for. Somebody asked this, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Nick and McCook, would you rather see a shutout on Saturday or score 60 if you had to pick just one? I say the shutout is always more impressive.
Well, if we score 60, how many points do they get? If we get a shutout, how many points do we score? I need more context. Like, is it 14-0? Is it 42-0 if we shut them out? If we score 60, did they score 20? Did they score, I was going to say 5. That's a weird score. Did they score 7? Did they score 21? I want to answer the question. I need a little bit more context, though. Give me more context. Let me know when that context comes in, and I will happily answer that question. As a defensive guy, my initial reaction was shutout, to be honest with you. But actually, it may be the offense, because I don't expect us to give. I mean, if we gave up double digits in points, I'd be flabbergasted. So if we gave up 10 points, 0 to 10 points isn't a huge gap, as much as I would be like, oh, okay, what's this, But if we go from scoring 68 to all of a sudden now we're at 38 offensive, that's a bigger gap. And that speaks to, I don't want to say a lack of a killer instinct, but not continuing to develop the killer instinct. So even though my initial reaction without more context was the shutout, because I'm a defensive guy, in reality, the bigger separation would be if we were to score a lot less points on offense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just for me, for all the comparisons to Indiana in the offseason, I remember they were blitzing people in the non-con. It'd be nice to put up another 60.
It would be nice. I think that's what I'll go with. If he sends in context, let me know. But I think that's what I'll go with without a little bit more info or context. This list came out. We got major big-time college football picks, by the way, as the show goes on as well. Let's see what else we've got. Some updates from around the league and the Big Ten, which is how I knew about Michigan State having the offensive defensive player of the week. A list of the top 25 greatest Nebraska football players just dropped yesterday. So we could go through that. What do you want to do next when we come back from break? We got a whole lot of options here.
That all sounds pretty fun. Let's go through that list. I'm kind of interested in that.
All right, let's do the list. When we come back, we'll do the list.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
When your home fills up with family, Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at HuskerFanTravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at HuskerFanTravel.com. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, real quick. So some folks were walking by, waved at us, threw the bones, walked by again. I didn't mention the second time. They threw the bones again. But we got a message from them via the text line. Here's the message. There was a boy that walked into the station in his first Nebraska game, and they were wondering if you could give just a quick shout-out for people to look up Rocky Mountain Down Syndrome Association if they want to donate. It looks like... You see the website on here?
Pull it up here.
Well, you can Google Rocky Mountain Down Syndrome Association if you want to. Okay, it's Austin's Animals. There's actually a picture of the boy right here as I'm looking at it. So if you're interested, Google Rocky Mountain. Where'd it go? Rocky Mountain Down Syndrome Association. You can look it up. You can learn more if you're interested. And shout out to Austin. Shout out to everyone who walked by. Enjoy your first Husker game. And if you've been to a Colorado game, enjoy your first real college football game this Saturday. All right, Jake. So I don't think they ranked them 25-1. I think it's kind of a random order, which I kind of like. I'm good with that. All right, but the 25 best players in Nebraska football history. This is just the order they have it. Sam Francis, running back.
Okay.
It says 1934 through 1946. That must be a typo. It's probably either 34 through 36 or 44 through 46. Can you just look that up real quick? All right, one of Nebraska's first true collegiate sports stars. Francis was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy in 1936, was a 2-time Big Six champion during his time in Lincoln, All-American as well. You go on next, as it's listed. This is 1946 to 1949. No need to Google that. Tom Novak was a center and a linebacker. Quite the combo right there. All right. The first of 2 Cornhuskers to have his uniform number retired, number 60, was retired by the school, is the only 4-time all-conference selection in the history of the Nebraska program, nicknamed the Train Wreck. All right. And they give the Tom Novak Native Son Award every year at the Nebraska Team Football Awards as well. So that's named after him, obviously. Bobby Reynolds, running back, 1950 to 1952, also known as Mr. Touchdown, a Heisman Trophy finalist in 1950. All right, has one of the top 10 highest rushing totals in school history. Bob Brown. Not enough people remember Bob. All right, Bob joins the Tom Novak as another Cornhusker to have his jersey retired, number 64 by the school, a unanimous All-American in 1963. A physical presence, intimidating, also in the College Football Hall of Fame. Played defense as well, 49 tackles and an interception. So, I believe it was Bob. I'm confident enough in that statement to say that he came and talked to our team in the early 2000s. And, man, he got fired up. He all but challenged any defensive lineman in the room to do Oklahoma drill with him in front of everybody right then and there. And then one of our starters on offense had been dealing with turf toe for like a month. So out of nowhere, he kind of goes, and what is turf toe? What is that? Did you get a little boo-boo on your toe or something like that? I was like, oh, wow. It was Corey Ross. Corey was sitting in the front row, and he just got, dude, he was like, you could tell he was embarrassed. But I've never had turf toe, but I've heard it's actually extremely painful. But Bob definitely made an impression on me. Another guy that came and talked to a team that reminded me, like, similar era, similar demeanor, similar aura when they spoke to us was when I was with the Rams, Deacon Too Tall Jones came in. He basically was like the same thing. And he was the guy that coined the term sack. He was the first guy that coined the term sack. And it was funny because it was like he all but challenged all the offensive linemen. Like, let's go. This dude's like in 85. But like just the attitude and the demeanor and the toughness and the mental approach that those guys had from that era. I wasn't alive then, and I still miss it. All right, Bob Newton, offensive tackle, 1969 to 1970. All right, I'll pick this up just a little bit. Larry Jacobson. All right, 1969 to 1971. I see him all the time at Husker games. Former players, events. Just the nicest dude ever. The undisputed star of Nebraska's black shirt defense to help the Cornhuskers win back-to-back national championships in 70 and 71. The two-time All-American was the first Nebraska player to win the Outland Trophy in 71. Presented to the nation's top interior lineman when he recorded 73 tackles, including 28 solo and 12 tackles for loss. That came the season after Jacobson posted 49 tackles, 33 solo, 9 tackles for loss, 3 fumble recoveries. We were at the actual Outland Trophy ceremony in January in Omaha, and Zach Wiegert was there. But we already knew the winner. They were just presenting him, the Texas offensive tackle, who was a top 10 pick come April. But the semifinalists were announced earlier in December. And Larry was there. And I'll never forget Bob Mancuso, who kind of runs it. I actually interviewed him right before the Outland Trophy ceremony last year. Said, oh, by the way, we actually have an Outland Trophy winner, and it was Larry Jacobson sitting right there. So he's like one of the nicest dudes ever. Rich Glover, 1970, 1972. Became the first Nebraska player to win both the Outland and the Lombardi Award. All right. He also finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting while recording 100 frickin' tackles, including 52 solo tackles and 9 for loss. By the way, he was teammates with Larry Jacobson. Can you imagine that in 70 and 71? You have 2 Outland winners right there. 2 unanimous All-Americans right there. By the way, Willie Harper out on the edge, another All-American. One guy wins the Outland and the Lombardi. Sue finished 4th in the Heisman. Glover finished 3rd. And you know who finished first that year. Who finished first?
72?
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah, it was Johnny. Oh, speaking of Willie Harper, you have 3 of the 25 greatest players in the history of Nebraska football all on one D line in 71. All right, 95 or 71 Nebraska. Who wins? Jake. I mean, you see what's going on here.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
Don't duck the question.
I'm ducking the question.
Okay. I'd ask Terrell, but he might be a little bit biased. Ask Terrell later. I just want to see what he says. Send me the clip. Willie Harper, defensive end, 70 to 72. All right, let's see. Earned various All-American honors in 71 and 72. Was named Big 8 Conference Sophomore Lineman of the Year. Let's see what else we got here. A whole bunch of stuff you can go through. All right. Johnny Rodgers needs no introduction. Heisman Trophy winner. Rodgers has a spot on the Mount Rushmore of Nebraska football. Is considered among the greatest offensive players in college football history. Known for many things, including the punt return for a touchdown in the game of the century versus Oklahoma. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. Again, the man needs no introduction. Neither does this guy, Dave Remington, 1979 to 1982. Literally, the Remington Award is named after him. Remington was the second Cornhusker to win both the Lombardi and Outland Trophy. In fact, Remington won the Outland Trophy in 1981 and 82. Twice. For those who may have missed that. Twice. And he won the Outland and Lombardi. And the Remington Award is literally named after him. Remington and Orlando Pace are the only 2 players in college football history to win the 2 awards a combined 3 times. He was also named the UPI Lineman of the Year in 82 when he finished 5th in the Heisman Trophy race. Remington's perfect combination of size, speed, strength led to a guy who ended up in the College Football Hall of Fame. Do you know who the only offensive lineman? I've had this stat in my back pocket for years, and it's not Remington.
Dave Remington.
But let me see here. About 10 years, that'll give it away. I'm just going to ask the question. It's not Remington. The only offensive lineman in college football history to win the Offensive Player of the Year award for their conference was a Nebraska guy. Do you know who it was? And somehow, I don't think he's in this top 25 list, by the way. Although I just briefly scanned it this morning, so we'll see if I saw that right or not.
Steinkühler?
No. There's only been 2 true freshmen who.
Will Shields?
Yes, Will Shields.
There it is.
Only 2 true freshmen who've ever started game one of their freshman year, Dominic Raiola and Will Shields. All right, next up, Irving Fryar. Number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft in 1984. Nebraska has tremendously been a run-first program, but when the Cornhuskers were throwing the ball in the early 1980s, notably by Turner Gill, it was usually headed in the direction of Irving Fryar, consensus All-American, setting career highs of 40 receptions, 780 receiving yards. You got to remember the era this was, too. Over 1,000 yards receiving. It was the number 1 overall pick by the New England Patriots in 1984 NFL Draft. Dean Steinkühler, 80-83. After another winner of both the Lombardi and Outland Trophy, Steinkühler received both in 1983 when he was also named UPI Lineman of the Year. 275 pounds. All right. Mike Rozier, 81-83, Heisman Trophy winner. And the person who wrote this article said there's certainly a case to be made that Rozier is the greatest player in the storied history of Nebraska football. To me, he's on the Mount Rushmore. Rozier, who played his freshman season at Kansas Junior College, is the school's all-time leading rusher, 4,780 yards. He gained 2,148 of those yards during the Heisman Trophy season. This was back without a college football playoff, no conference title games. He had 11-game regular season, so he played 12 total games with a bowl game involved. Think about that, too. He's still the school's all-time leading rusher. 4,780 yards. And gained 2,148 of those yards during his Heisman Trophy season, which, again, was 12 games. All right. The consensus All-American also ran for a school record 29 touchdowns. Rozier's 49 career rushing touchdowns ranked second all-time in Nebraska history. Oh, Will Shields is on here. Thank God. That would have been an abomination if he wasn't. Somehow I missed him when I scanned this earlier today. Will Shields carried the Nebraska tradition of great offensive linemen into the 90s. Let's not forget the Fumble-Rooski Part 2. Part 1 was Steinkühler. Part 2 was Will Shields. Was that versus Colorado or Oklahoma? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Let's look it up.
And again, he was the first Nebraska offensive lineman to ever start his first game as a true freshman. Dominic Raiola was the second. They were the only 2. He's also one of 6 Cornhusker linemen to be named a 3-time all-conference performer after making an impact in 9 games as a true freshman. A big deal at Nebraska. Shields was the first Cornhusker sophomore since Dave Remington to earn first-team All-Big 8 honors. Also a college football Hall of Famer. Did you get confirmation?
It's Colorado, yeah.
Okay. All right, Trev Alberts, 90-93.
Ooh.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're not.
I'm not. Most people would agree, but
I understand the exit, but the playing career still stands. Before Alberts became the athletic director at Nebraska, oh, wow. Why does he have to lead off with that to start the article? Just go to the playing days, man. All right, he's one of college football's all-time great defensive players. Nebraska's all-time sack leader. Alberts is 1. I think he had like 29. I think Wistrom's there at about 26, 27. All right, he's the only Cornhusker to win the Butkus Award, presented annually to the nation's top linebacker. That came in 93, when he was a consensus All-American, recording 15 sacks, which I believe is tied for a school record in the single season, or it is a school record, tying a school single season record. There it is. If I just keep reading, it answers most of my questions. And 21 tackles for loss. The College Football Hall of Famer is the school's all-time leader. There it is. 29.5 career sacks, ranked 4th with 45 tackles for loss. Sometimes I read, sometimes I just talk, and then they blend. Zach Wiegert, another Outland Trophy winner for the Huskers, a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, a 3-year starter at right tackle. Wiegert allowed just 1 sack during his 46-game career with the Cornhuskers. During the 1994 Outland Trophy winning season, the 3-time All-Big 8 performer was credited with 113 pancake blocks. Do we even keep track of those anymore?
I wish.
Oh, God, we should. All right. He was also a UPI Lineman of the Year, consensus All-American, and had his jersey retired by the school. He also finished 10th in the Heisman Trophy voting that year, just FYI. That's not in the article. That's me talking, just to be clear. Tommy Frazier. I'm just going to throw this out there. If Tommy had won the Heisman, would he be known as the greatest college football player of all time? Because a lot of people right now put Tebow up there. There's a lot of guys that go there, but Tebow is probably the one I see most common on the list that people put out there. I think the two guys that if they had the Heisman would be like equivalent to Tebow, maybe a smidge above, depending on how you look at it, is Tommy and Vince Young. Tommy had two. This is me talking, not even reading. 2 national championships, 3 straight major bowl game MVPs, from 2 straight Orange Bowls to the Fiesta Bowl. If he had that, I think it's him, Tebow, and that's the debate for most people.
Yeah.
You can always throw other people in there. Frazier joined Jerry Tagge as the only quarterbacks in school history and among 5 total all-time nationally since the 1950s to lead the team to back-to-back national championships. Frazier accomplished that feat in his final 2 collegiate seasons, despite dealing with health issues in '94. If you couldn't tell, I'm reading now. He rallied the Cornhuskers to beat Miami in the Orange Bowl to claim the national title. The next season, Frazier was a Heisman Trophy. Oh, there it is. Heisman Trophy finalist, which is still awesome. Throwing for 1,362 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Man, look at that touchdown to interception ratio. That's better than 4-1. All right, while gaining 604 yards on the ground with 14 touchdowns, earning consensus All-American and Big 8 Offensive Player of the Year honors. He threw for more than 3,500 yards with 43 touchdowns and ran for nearly 2,000 yards in his career. College Football Hall of Fame, Nebraska jersey retired. Aaron Taylor. Before I even read, it's probably in here. He has one of my favorite stats ever. He's the only Nebraska football player ever to be an All-American at 2 different positions, guard and center. See if it mentions it. In 1997, Aaron Taylor became the 7th different Nebraska lineman to win the Outland Trophy. We have more than any other school, by the way, although Texas has a recent run that I don't appreciate. I appreciate good offensive line play, just not Texas. All right, Taylor also earned All-American recognition in 1996 and 97. I don't want to say they just mentioned, they don't differentiate. He was a starting guard and a starting center. To be an All-American at 2 different positions is so impressive to me. The College Football Hall of Famer is the only Cornhusker to earn such honors at 2 different positions. Taylor started his career at left guard as a sophomore before accepting the task of playing center in the next season, then moving back to guard for his senior campaign. All right. Grant Wistrom, 94 to 97. Wistrom made dominating opposing blockers look easy. One of the greats in the game and a College Football Hall of Famer, Wistrom was a major part of those 3 Nebraska national championships, 94, 95, and 97. In addition to winning the Lombardi in 97, Wistrom was a 2-time consensus All-American and Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, both in 96 and 97. He's the Cornhuskers' all-time leader with 58.5 tackles for loss. That's actually something I did not know. And ranks 2nd with 26.5 sacks. There we go from earlier. How many we got left? Because we are up against it on break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6. So here's what I want to do. We're going to go to break. We'll finish this in the next segment. I want people to text in. No, there's 6 players coming. Who do you think is on that list? Who do you think is on that list? And who do you think gets left off? Is that a weird thing to ask people to text in?
No.
Who do you think is on the list? And who do you think gets left off? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Sometimes it's hard to know if substance use is becoming a problem, especially when it becomes part of daily life or social routines. Take the free assessment, Is Your Substance Use Harmful, at myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can understand your risk. You can take the assessment anonymously. In just minutes, you'll get practical, non-judgmental guidance and resources to support your health and well-being. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Big news, Nebraska! Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Okay, here we go. You just don't stop giving, do you? Green flag for underway. The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God damn right.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O, sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 92. Tonight, mainly clear skies, continued breeze, low around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right, Jake, what are some of the guests that we have from the fine folks at home as far as who's on the list, who doesn't make the list, and maybe should be on the list in their opinion? You went 5 for 6.
Yes.
You took some guesses during the break. You went 5 for 5 right out the gate. The 6th one, kerfunkled you just a little bit. Not that he doesn't deserve to be on the list, but I want to see what the texts have to say.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of people feel there might be some obvious ones. A lot of mentions of Sue here.
Yep.
From Ohio Husker, and 0122 says Sue looked like he played against children when he threw them. So there's that. Tommy's guess is Crouch, Green, Sue, Abdullah, David, Prince.
Ooh, very close. Very close. Anybody else got any guesses?
That looks like all the guesses for now. Okay,
So here we go. And if you haven't noticed, it goes by eras. So the next is 98 to 2000, Dominic Raiola. All right, Raiola is the first, and as of 2024 season, the only Nebraska player to win the Remington Trophy. So technically, Dave Remington didn't win the Remington Trophy because it came out after he was done playing. Okay, and that was during the 2000 season, honoring the country's top collegiate center and named for the Cornhuskers legend, Dave Remington. Raiola was the first true freshman Nebraska offensive lineman to start since 1991, which was Will Shields. When his time at Nebraska came to an end, Raiola was a 2-time first-team All-Big 12 selection and consensus All-American. He was also a finalist for both the Lombardi and Outland Trophy. Next up, Heisman Trophy winner Eric Crouch. All right, Nebraska's most recent Heisman Trophy winner, Crouch, claimed the coveted award in 2001 when he threw for 1,510 yards, ran for 1,115 yards with 18 touchdowns. 11 more touchdowns than he threw that season. All right, for his career, Crouch ran for 3,434 yards, the most by any Nebraska quarterback and the 4th highest total in school history. His 59 career rushing touchdowns are the most by any Cornhusker at any position. Think about that. His 59 career rushing touchdowns as a quarterback are the most by any Cornhusker at any position. Did you know that?
I did.
I did too. I just wanted to emphasize it, okay?
I mean, I didn't then. Great,
okay.
Great info.
Crouch's 7,915 total yards of offense ranks 4th among all Cornhuskers, a 2-time Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Crouch was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame as well in 2020. All right, I'm going to come back because I'm just going to go in order. This is the one you didn't get, but he's Nebraska's all-time career tackles leader too. All right, and one of my former teammates, Barrett Ruud. Let's see, 01 to 04. When it comes to finding the ball carrier, nobody at Nebraska has made more tackles than Ruud. 432. Just wow for a career. Ruud might not be as decorated. This is me reading, to be clear. Ruud might not be as decorated as others on this list, but the effort he gave as a Cornhusker won't soon be forgotten. A first-team All-Big 10 performer. That would have been Big 12 in 2004. Ruud ranks first in school history with 218 solo tackles, and his 16 against Kansas State are still a single-game record. Ruud is among the school's all-time leaders with 50 tackles for loss. All right. Next up, I'm going to shock you. 06 to 09, Ndamukong Suh. When it comes to a memorable individual season in the history of college football, the 2009 performance from Suh remains as one for the ages. Suh led the Cornhuskers in tackles, 85, tackles for loss, 24, and sacks, 12. When a defensive tackle leads you in sacks, that's hard to do. It's harder to get sacks from the inside, tackles for loss, and then he led the team in tackles with 85. That deserves a holy Moses Malone right there. All right. He also blocked 3 kicks and broke up 10 passes. Think about that. 10 PBUs. How many DBs have 10 PBUs in a season? That's crazy. Let's see. As the most dominant defender in the college game at the time, he was named College Football Player of the Year by the AP and won just about every major national award. For his career at Nebraska, Sue is second in school history with 57 tackles for loss and tied for 4th with 24 sacks. All right, next up, Levante David, which is amazing considering he was only here for 2 years. Yet, I'm not surprised to see him on this list. You said his name when you were guessing and you didn't know the list. To do that in only 2 years. And what's he, about 15 years deep in the NFL now?
Yeah.
Honestly, London Fletcher and Levante David may be the most 2 underrated NFL football players I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's crazy to me. All right. After David's collegiate career began at Fort Scott Community College in Kansas, he made the most of his 2 seasons with the Cornhuskers. Now, he did something I don't think I've ever seen, but we're going to get to that in a second. If they don't talk about it, I will. David recorded 285 career tackles, the 5th most in only 2 years in school history. Of those tackles, 149 were solo. All right, the 6th most, says 6th mouth in the article, 6th most at Nebraska. 28 were TFLs. In 2010, Nebraska was named Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year when he posted a school record 152 tackles. Then after the Cornhuskers switched conferences, he was tabbed Big 10 Linebacker of the Year 1 season later. That was it. Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, the Conference Player of the Year on defense in one conference, the Conference Linebacker of the Year in the other conference, first team all-conference in 2 different conferences back-to-back years. All right. Amir Abdullah, 11-14. Abdullah never received the national accolades like most others on this list, but he certainly left his mark on the Cornhuskers football program. He ranks 2nd in Nebraska history, 4,588 rushing yards, joining Mike Rozier as the only Cornhusker to top the 4,000-yard mark. His 39 rushing TDs also ranks 5th in school history. An all Big 10 first-teamer, Abdullah twice ran for more than 1,600 yards in a season, 13 and 14, an average 24.9 yards per punt return. Can you imagine if we had a guy who averaged 25 yards per punt return right now? And 10.2 yards, this would also be awesome, per kick return while returning 2 for touchdowns during his career. All right, so who are some of the folks that they thought might be left off the list that the Texans thought maybe should be on the list?
There was the one thought about Rozier, said usually came out after the second series in the second half. That's from 7518. Bill and Bennett says...
Hold on, saying he shouldn't be on the list?
No, he's just saying he should have had more numbers because he usually came out in the second half. That's an argument for many a Husker.
That makes more sense.
Bill and Bennett says hard to leave Lawrence Phillips off the list for me. I also noticed, was Amon Green left off the list?
Yeah.
That's very surprising.
Anybody else to mention?
Turner, nobody else mentioned it, but Turner Gill would be another one that I could think of. Maybe could be on the list. Alex Henry, the school's all-time leading rusher. Pick your choice to Ralph Brown, Mike. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Adam Carriker.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that last one, even though I know you don't mean it. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're up there.
I appreciate it. Anyone else?
I mean, there's so many good names throughout history.
Prince Amukamara?
Yeah, that could be another one.
I mean, he was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
If you are the Player of the Year in your conference, where there's linebacker, defensive lineman, DB. You didn't catch that, did you?
Mm-mm.
The Defensive Player of the Year. Like, that's a big deal in your conference. I know we have to go to break. I'm letting that sit out there. You're still not getting it, are you?
I think I missed it.
That's all right. I feel good about it. Maybe nobody else in the world caught it, but I feel good about it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show when we come back.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer.
Mmm.
Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their third annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's third annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: a few sprinkles possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 92. Tonight, mainly clear skies, continued breeze, low around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, Jake. So you and I kind of had some fun. If we were to add a 26th or 27th player to this list and make it the top 27 players, because that makes no sense. But it's our show and we can do whatever we want. Who would you have added?
Yeah, I was surprised that Amon Green was left off the list.
Okay. All right.
Second team All AP All-American in 97. He was second nationally in rushing yards that year. First team All Big 12 that year. First team All Big 8 in 1995. Third team All Big 12 in 96. So, I mean, all those accolades. I mean, freshman record for season rushing yards at Nebraska, 2 in 95. But the biggest thing, obviously, is helping lead Nebraska to 2 national titles. I think I don't think he's not only should be on this list. I think he's, in general, underappreciated. I really wonder what would happen if he would have came back in 98. But I don't know. I don't think they'd probably win that title in 97 without him.
It's crazy when you think about Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer and Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher in there, too.
Yeah.
Love Amon. That's why we said 27. So yours is Amon. Mine would be Prince. Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, All-American. As a corner. Corners don't get recognized that much unless you're like freaking Dion or something. As a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous All-American, first-round draft pick, and this is in the NFL, but also a Super Bowl champion as well, just to throw that out there, too. What I was getting at that you did not pick up is Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. Come on, man.
Oh.
Somebody walking in those doors has those accolades. It's probably Bill Bush. That'd be my guess. Bill's probably asleep. He gets up early. Does he nap in the afternoon, you think? I would nap if I had to get up.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. No, that's who I would say Prince. You'd say Amon. I mean, it's like pick from one grade to another Husker grade. All right. Now, somebody did mention Lawrence Phillips had a great career. Obviously, there's some other things that people are probably going to factor into that list as him being on that list or not being on that list as well. But that's another great player that you can discuss. All right. Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show. It's the noon hour, ladies and gentlemen. That means it is lunchtime. The lunch hour of the Adam Carriker Show on the Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 2 locations. I said that poorly. Now with 2 locations, Mulberry Barbecue has. There we go. Speak like Yoda, kind of. At 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, and a full slab of ribs, a half-smoked chicken, and much, much more. Plus incredible size. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2, right by Lowe's. All right, anything else off the text line in general pertaining to anything before we move on going forward?
A couple names some other people threw out there. Nate Swift from 0778, Randy Gregory for 1508, and Thomas and Lincoln says, surprise no Jay Foreman.
A lot of great players. Why didn't they just do a top 50? Because then you'd have to go to 75, and then you'd have to go to 100. All right. A lot of great players. Should we chat a little bit of Houston Christian here? I know we've chatted about them, but just briefly actually kind of look at them specifically for about five, maybe 10 minutes. You can tell me no, and I'll move on. It's up to you.
No, I'm interested.
Okay. So the first thing that's noted here, basically the worst player on Nebraska would be amongst the best on Houston Christian's roster. Somebody help me with these notes. Shout out to Andy Jurassic. That was his first line. All right, now Houston Christian is a member of the football championship ranks, FCS. Comes to Lincoln with a 1-1 record following a 20-10 loss to Eastern Kentucky on Saturday night. Despite the loss, the Huskies, limited Eastern Kentucky to 173 yards, so they play a little bit of defense, all right, and allowing just 139 yards per game. Did you know that? Does that kind of temper your expectations for our offense there?
Not necessarily.
He just chuckles and says no. All right. Houston Christian opened the season with a 69-0. Oh, that's better than 68-0. I'm just saying. 69-0 victory over Arkansas Baptist on August 28th. This is the first all-time meeting between the Huskies and the Huskers. Nebraska is 15-0 all-time against FCS opponents, most recently defeating Northern Iowa last season 34-3. Their quarterback has passed Houston Christians for 295 yards, 52.5% completion percentage, so he's not exactly blistering teams through the airways. 32 of 61, 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. So technically, he has the 2 touchdown to 1 INT ratio that you're looking for as a bare minimum to have a decent quarterback. Now, the best player is probably their starting running back. Zayshawn Edwards, who rushed for 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 7.4 yards per carry through 2 games. All right, Jake. Thoughts on any of that we've learned so far in the past 2 minutes?
I mean, yeah, it's a nice breakdown. It's a good idea of somebody to kind of look out for, and we'll see. Like you said, it's an interesting breakdown, and to me, when I did kind of look at Houston Christian, it's just a tale of 2 games too. I mean, they've kind of got Nebraska where they had a stat game that they could put up some massive stats. They had a close game where they did not put up massive stats.
Are you taking them for granted?
I am. Taking the win for granted.
As well we should. It's about what we need to do, which if you missed that, I discussed that about an hour ago at the top of the show. All right. Darrell Evans is another running back of theirs who has 128 yards, 3 touchdowns, and averaging 4 yards per carry. The team has rushed for 401 yards, averaging 7.2 yards per carry their first game, where they won 69-0. All right. He made a note here. It says in parentheses, frat bros still probably going crazy after the 69-0 victory. These notes are fun. Their top wide receiver only has 80 yards. And they're facing number 2 pass defense in the country, in Nebraska, statistically this weekend anyway. So I say we put 12 men in the box to load up and stop the run. What say you, Jake?
Yeah, that could be a strategy.
Is that could be a strategy? Is that mathing? Their defense has 3 interceptions, 2 sacks so far. The team is surprisingly decent size throughout. They might also have the smallest player in the FCS at 5'5", 140 pounds, but he is a freshman. Houston Christian finished with a 5-7 record last year, just missed the FCS playoffs. The Huskies have never qualified for the postseason since moving to the FCS in 2014. Their wins came against Louisiana Christian, Indiana State, McNeese, Nichols, and Northwestern State. The Huskies had a top 50 offense in the FCS last season, averaging nearly 28 points per game. Their defense, however, struggled, allowing 35 points per game, which ranks 106th in the FCS division. 22 first downs via the run and 22 first downs via the pass so far this year. So their effectiveness through the air and their effectiveness through the ground is not balanced unless you look at the first downs they've gained. They love using the run game to set up the RPO. They are averaging 54 yards and penalties a game. They are not currently ranked in the FCS. Have made 1 out of 2 field goal attempts so far this year. Only one that was made was from 23 yards out. They are 10 of 10. On the bright side, as noted here in the notes, on extra points. And he notes, so that's something. I don't think he knew I was going to read this like this. Now he knows. In their second game, they only ran for 42 yards on 32 attempts, 1.3 yards per carry. They threw for 217 yards and were 22 of 45 passing, so under 50%. They had 5 fumbles and lost 4 of them. They're worse than Akron, but they run the ball a lot more. All right. I'm just going to read the rest of the notes. I still expect a blowout, but with all the runs, the clock will run, leaving less time for Nebraska to score. Andy Jurassic's prediction is 56-6. Oddly close to my 56-7, just saying. Now, the questions are, should we shut them out? Probably, but when was the last time Nebraska had 2 shutouts in a row? Besides, these are his notes. Besides, we are lucky Akron doinked their first field goal attempt. All right. Any other final thoughts on all of that there, Jake?
Not necessarily. It's a good preview for a butt kicking, I think. I mean, they're going to have a hard time mustering really much of anything, I expect.
So what's the minimum the score has to be in your mind for this game to be a success?
I think Nebraska, especially building off from last week, which is a big part of it. I think before last week's score, I would have told you something different. But, I mean, it would be, they've got to get into you got to score at least more than 42, I would think. And then, you don't want to give up more than 10 points to this team.
Fair. The minimum for me, as I sit here and put a full 5 seconds worth of thought into this, is probably, I like the 50 number, but if we score 7 touchdowns, that's 49. So I could say 49, but man, we can't give up more than 8 points. Maybe they go for 2 and get it. I don't know. Maybe it's 49-0. They want to practice their 2-point conversions after their 1 lucky touchdown of the day. They go for 2, they get it. 49-8. That's like my bare minimum. I wonder what the fine folks out there have to say. What's your bare minimum score-wise? And we're looking for things beyond the score in this game, which we talked about again, just to start off the show today. What's your bare minimum score-wise that you would find acceptable for this game and still say it was a success? We feel good about moving on to Michigan. Let us know. For the 1 millionth time, what is that text number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Is there anything off the text line at the moment?
Not yet. Thomas Lincoln actually just chimed in 42-8.
Ooh, he went with my 8, but he went with 42. Lower expectations for the offense?
A little bit.
Would you be all right with 42? Your face said no.
I think that's about, again, the lowest. I mean, if they're scoring in the 30s, I think you're not all that happy with the performance. If they get to the 40s, I mean, depends on how it looks. I think you would probably have a few possessions you're not the most happy with. So, I think it would be passable grade at 42, but I think that's about where you put the bottom of it.
I'm going to go 50-8 because if we want to really feel like, yeah, we built on last week. Yes, we're probably not going to win 68-0. The game's going to go a little bit faster. We won't have as many possessions just because they're going to try to run the ball a lot more. I still think you got to get like that 5-0 number in there. Just got to get it in there. This team's never made the FCS playoffs.
Never had a winning record as a program.
So, watch. They're going to win like 49-8, and I'm going to sit here and debate over 1 point how much that matters. Or Matt Rule's going to be up 48-8 and go for 2 to make me happy. Do you think he'd do that?
No way.
They got to practice their 2-point conversions.
That is what running up the score. That's running up the score.
Oh, that's a fair point. Maybe he does it the first possession.
Yeah, we're just to work on it.
Anticipatory, maybe. All right. Let's look around the Big Ten a little bit. Or do you want to start predicting games? What do you want to do next? This has basically been your show today.
Well, it is. Why always say that jokingly? It wouldn't be an awful idea in this game. If you're going to get a lot of 2-point conversion opportunities, you need to work on that short yardage near the goal line. That's been one of your problems. I don't know if you want to expose it a little bit more. Those are tough play calls to have, but maybe worth a shot. Oregon used to do that. Go for 2 all the time.
Well, you remember, and they weren't the only ones. It was like Oregon was like Chip Kelly was the guy who started it. Then Boise started doing it. Scott Frost did it down at USCF, his first run. But like you have the center, you have the kicker and the holder, but all other 8 guys line off to the side, and they're looking for some things in the defense. And if you don't line up properly, they're going to snap it and try to go for 2 with all the blockers on one side. And Oregon had an insane amount of success, a high success rate with it. And if they don't see what they're looking for, they line up, they kick the extra point. So, all right. You didn't answer my question. What do you want to do next?
Oh, sorry. What are my options again?
We're just going to go around the league in the Big Ten.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. 9 of the Big Ten's 18 teams are mentioned in this week's AP poll and US LBM coaches poll. How long has it been called the US LBM? Why not just the coaches poll? Do we have to sponsor everything?
It used to be USA Today, right?
I guess it did. Do we have to sponsor everything?
That's where the
is
money
this microphone sponsored?
It is. Not yet, actually. That's a great idea. I'll write that down.
Brought to you by Bach and the Black Shirt here on the Adam Carriker Show.
There you
This
go.
microphone.
Yeah. Put a sticker on it.
All right. The AP poll includes Big Ten team-wise. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Penn State. Number 4, Oregon. Number 9, Illinois. Do you really think Illinois is a top 10 team?
I think last week against Duke kind of showed you. I mean, again, it feels weird to say, but they were top 15 last year. And then that victory against Duke, that's a huge for them, I think, to kind of say, hey, we're here to stay. We're here to belong. We belong. So I think at this point, yeah, I would.
They have the most amount of returning starters of any team in the Big Ten with 18. To your point, a team that was top 15 last year. All right, number 22, Indiana. Indiana's not as good as they were last year. Do you think they'll finish ranked?
I think so.
I'm going to say no just because I don't want them to. Kurt Signetti. All right, number 23, Michigan. That's an interesting team, man. It's an interesting team, whether they'll finish ranked or not. All right, with Nebraska and USC receiving votes as well, but just outside. At number 1, Ohio State leads 9 Big Ten teams in the coaches poll. Again, if you didn't know, shout out to their sponsor. That's the USLBM, the alphabet poll, apparently. All right, Ohio State leads 9 Big Ten teams in the coaches poll. Number 2, Penn State. Number 5, Oregon. Number 9, Illinois. 19, Indiana. Number 22, Michigan. While Nebraska, USC, and Washington also received recognition. The Big Ten announced its Big Ten Football Players of the Week, presented by IFS.AI. On Monday, Michigan State's Aiden Childs and Washington's Jonah Coleman were co-offensive players of the week. Do you get concerned at all about his ability to run when we play Michigan State in about 3 weeks?
Absolutely, especially from that Cincinnati game. That could be an Achilles heel for Nebraska.
We ran a lot of man. You think we incorporate more zone when we face quarterbacks like him? Because we ran a lot of man so far.
Yeah.
All right. Childs recorded a career-high 4 touchdowns Saturday as the Spartans beat Boston College in double overtime, throwing the game-winning 2-point conversion pass to Amari Kelly on the last play of the game. All right. Michigan State's Jordan Hall captured Defensive Player of the Week honors after recording a career-high 15 tackles in the win over Boston College, with his 9 solo stops making a career best. Don't underestimate Michigan State, ladies and gentlemen. You and I were talking. Playing Michigan and Michigan State back-to-back is interesting. It's a unique challenge. There's a lot of people who think or doubtful we're going to win both those games. I did point out I feel better that there's a bye week in between, so we should be fresh. Like, we should be fresh for Michigan. Then we got a bye week. We should be fresh for Michigan State, and they're both at home. Yet, knowing all of that, how confident do you feel that we would beat both those teams, Jake? It's hard to say. We haven't even played Michigan yet, so.
Yeah. It's tough to say, but I mean, that seems like, especially the mobile quarterback aspect makes me a little bit worried. Even, coming off a win against Michigan too. Remember, that was kind of felt like Colorado was the Super Bowl, the game of the year, whatever, and then you come off that and you lose a couple weeks to Illinois. It could be a similar feeling of you're on the top of the world if you beat Michigan.
I never liked that last year. Oh, we put too much into Colorado. If you can only get up for one game, maybe 2 a year, you're doing the wrong thing. Like, that drove me nuts. It didn't drive me nuts. I didn't like it last year. You have, especially in today's world, what if we were Florida and we basically played the Patriots, the Jets, the Steelers, and the Vikings 4 weeks in a row? Because that's what Florida's schedule looks like. What's their excuse? They got Tennessee, Florida State, Miami. They just came off freaking USF, who's a top 15 team, or 18th in the country for some reason. The only team who's beaten 2 ranked teams, but they can't break higher than 18th in the country. Logo. All right. We got the bye week in between. They're both at home. I think that helps. Michigan State. 4 Big Ten teams posted shutouts on Saturday, with Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, and Penn State winning by a combined 238-0. All right, Iowa's Kirk Ferentz won his 205th game as the Hawkeyes defeated Albany, the mighty Albany, 34-7 on August 30th last Saturday, tying Woody Hayes for the most wins by a Big Ten head coach. He's now tied for the winningest head coach of Big Ten Conference history as Kirk Ferentz. Last season, he joined the former Buckeye legend as the only Big Ten coaches to win 200 games. Ferentz and the Hawkeyes look to make Big Ten history with a win this weekend against the mighty UMass. I don't know why I'm saying that. We're playing Houston Christian. He could become the winningest head coach in Big Ten history And I just saw multiple lists where coaches on the hot seat. He was 15th on both those lists. Billy Napier is far and away number one, the Florida head coach after losing to USF. He could be the winningest coach in the history of the Big Ten, and he could be on the hot seat the same season.
And it's weird, too, because it's just all about the offense. Tim Lester is not seeming to help that offense. But remember, they fired Brian Ferentz a few years ago, and the offense isn't picking up. The quarterback problem is still in Iowa City. So, I mean, it's not even about wins and losses. It's just like, can you eventually get this side of the ball rolling?
Like, how many national championships would they have won if they could just have an average offense? The answer is 0. But, like, how much better could they have been if they just had, like, an average offense over these years? They're insanely well coached in every other part and facet of the game. How are they so bad on offense?
Do you appreciate Ricky Stanzi a little bit more? The few guys that were able to do it under Ferentz? Brad Banks, obviously.
Ooh, yeah. They had that great year. What was that, 04? 03? 03? I think it was 03. No, that was 02 because them and Ohio State were tied atop the Big Ten. And Ohio State beat Miami in the Fiesta Bowl to win the national title. And Iowa went to the Orange Bowl, got blown out by Troy Polamalu, Carson Palmer, and USC. All right. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We have got major college football games coming up this weekend. There's like 10 of them that stand out. We're going to do our picks. We have some volleyball updates. And Nebraska soccer had one heck of a comeback last night. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible this morning. Otherwise, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 92. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a continued breeze, low around 71. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and hot with a high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. Feeling off lately? Struggling with your mental well-being can make everyday life harder, and it can also increase the risk of substance use. Early support can make a big difference. Visit myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com and take the free mental health check-in assessment. In just a few minutes, you'll get non-judgmental feedback, local resources, and next steps to help you feel more in control and supported. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Make this your best football season yet with help from Limitless Mail. If you're struggling with low energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, mood swings, it's likely low testosterone, and Limitless Mail can fix that. We've helped over 100,000 men feel stronger, leaner, sharper, and more like themselves again. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Take control. Book your free consult today at limitlessmail.com. That's limitlessmail.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. Hour 2, numero dos of this fine program is brought to you by our good friends at Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction. That's SCHWISOW.com. We had an interesting text off the text line. Fire away, Jake. What do you got?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too here as I pull it up. Anthony in Portland chimes in. What are your thoughts, Adam? Penn State has dropped off for me. Oregon, Ohio State at the top. USC, Nebraska, Penn State, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, and Minnesota jockeying for that third spot. USC might be our toughest opponent instead of Penn State.
I mean, they might be. With the way college football is, teams change so much from year to year. Again, we've talked about Indiana, SMU. Who knows what Nebraska is going to be this year? So the number 1 and 2 teams in the country when it came to odds to win the national championship going into the season were Texas and Ohio State. I'll share this stat again. They were 80th in the country and 81st in the country when it came to returning production. Not 80% and 81%. 80th out of 136 teams and 81st out of 136 teams. There's so much change. There's so much turnover from year to year. USC's and Lincoln Riley's still a good coach. He found a halfway decent defensive coordinator, actually a pretty good one. You know, they lost their top 5 pass catchers from last year, and they're probably going to be better this year. Now, would I jump them ahead of Penn State as the toughest team we're going to play? I'm not there yet. You look at the first 2 games. USC wins 73-13 over Missouri State, wins 59-20 over Georgia Southern. All right, I think USC is definitely better than they were last year. How good are they? I don't know. I will say this. If you talk to people around the USC program, they've been like all offseason, especially last spring when you talk to them. They're like, just wait and see. Just wait and see. It's like that kid that knows he can kick the crap out of you, but the other kid keeps picking on him, and he just runs out of patience. He goes, I'll see you by the flagpole after school. You just wait and see. I won't talk about what happens there because you know what I mean. But it's like USC all offseason just been like, you wait and see. Now, they haven't really played anybody yet. But I am not one bit surprised that they may be. I won't be one bit surprised if they're in the college football playoff. Now, ahead of Penn State, you look at the returning production and you look at what Penn State has, I would still put Penn State ahead of USC. They haven't been as impressive score-wise. Okay, take this with a grain of salt. They beat Nevada 46-11. They beat Florida International 34-0. you kind of take some of these games with a grain of salt, especially early on in the year. How much do teams improve? How much are they really showing? How much does the score really tell you? All I know is we beat Akron 68-0, so we're basically national champs at this point. When it comes to other schools, you take it with a grain of salt, right, Jake?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Jake was looking at his text. I knew he wasn't paying attention, so I threw it to him. I like to do that to him. I would still put Penn State first. Penn State, going to have a great defense. May very well have the best offensive line in the country. Probably have the best backfield in the country. The most experienced quarterback, at least in the country, and a guy who's a 5-star coming out of high school, so the talent potential is there. We'll see what he actually does. But he needs some receivers. They brought in some new wide receivers. They have not been explosive yet. So I don't know. Is that coming? Have they just not shown us anything? The thing that USC has shown us so far that Penn State is not. I don't think USC has shown us that they're better. I think USC has shown us that they're more explosive and they're more exciting to watch. They have more entertainment value right now. I don't know if that makes them better. So I don't know just yet. Your quick thoughts there, Jake?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I thought Lincoln Riley was going to have a lot of success out there. Obviously had a Heisman Trophy winner in Caleb Williams, but other than that, it hasn't really come together. But all the ingredients are always there in Southern California, especially with Lincoln Riley there. So, I was surprised they didn't take more steps forward last year. I predicted that going in. A little bit hesitant to do that again this season because I was burned last season. But, I mean, again, I still think all the ingredients are on campus. They still got to work on that defense. Of course, usually it's kind of the main concern out there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think that night game in Lincoln, November, alternate uniform blackout game is going to be exciting. I think it's going to feel just like the Michigan game in a week.
By the way, are you excited for the All Reds tomorrow?
That's right. Actually, it was the next picture I was staring at.
Oh, okay,
Nebraska's going to wear all reds. I don't know. Can I say I was initially like, yay? I can't say that. My second thought was it's uniforms. Who cares? My third thought is stop being so old-fashioned. I want red uniform, white pants, and everything I grew up with. So that was my reaction. I don't care. Go out and win 69-0, and I won't care. Okay?
Yeah.
Just go play good football. What say you?
I'm really excited about it. It's something I've wanted for a long time. I grew up learning from my dad would always tell me, yeah, they lose in all red. That's why they don't do that. So Terrell would I think Terrell would say the same thing when he asked, I have to bring him in here. I think they would try to get Tom Osborne to do it. He said, no, we're not doing that because they had bad luck in the past with it. So I think it's a safe game to do it. It's a good game to bring it out and bury that old idea that you can't win with all red.
Bring it out for Houston Christian.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll break the curse. Not Solich coming back at the spring game. This is how you break the curse, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I don't know if I teased this on yesterday's show and then I forgot about it, so I'll do it quickly. Dylan Raiola, reacting to his press conference earlier this week, was not aware of the record he broke versus Akron, 20 straight completions. Biggest change from last year's team to this year's team is that the guys aren't worried about outcomes, but what happens right now. In other words, you're not outcome-oriented. You're focused on the process. You will be happier, and you will be more effective, and you will play better if you control what you can control, which is what is right in front of you, and focus on the process, not the outcome. The outcome will take care of itself. He said he took what Rule said during the halftime speech very seriously, and I quote, when you have a coach that cares that much when you're up 33-0, you've got something special, end quote. Says us not being able to get into the end zone from inside the 5 is unacceptable and says it will be fixed, and I quote, there is no excuse for us not to play at a high level, end quote. We actually discussed that a little bit on yesterday's show. Says he should have stayed on his feet instead of spinning. You didn't like the 360 spin, Jake?
It wasn't as elegant as maybe he thought, given that he posed afterwards with it, but it was all right.
Doesn't see the running back situation as a 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, but rather as a rotation. I disagree. It's number 1. We don't know who 2 through 4 is. That's my opinion. Thinks the backs played elite versus Akron. All right, let's get to picking some college football games. So Jake is like, Adam, how many do you want to pick? I was like, well, what games are worth picking? So I don't know how many there are. Every week, if there's 3 great games, we'll pick 3. If there's 33, we'll narrow it down to less, but we'll pick all the great games nonetheless.
Well, there are some really good games on.
How many you got?
Well, I've got 10, but then I've got 3 more tonight that I want to get your thoughts on.
So 13.
13.
I'm 4-6 right now,
That's
and
right.
I went 4-1. You're 4-6, but you had a splattering last weekend, so technically that's my tiebreaker. Is that how that works?
I don't think so. I think it's just tied at 4-6.
Okay, fine. Fine. All right, what games we got?
All right, let's start off because there's 3 tonight. And so I don't know if you want to officially count these. I just want to make people aware because there's some good college football action tonight. Colorado starting a new quarterback at Houston. Remember, Colorado already has a loss on the year. Houston favored by 4.5. They haven't lost yet.
Is it Caden Salter or is it the freshman kid they're starting?
It's actually the third stringer. I think it's Staub
wow.
is his name. So yeah, they're kind of already passing the torch down.
Man, Dion is missing his son like crazy. I shouldn't phrase it that way. He's missing Shadur like crazy. Holy cow.
Ryan Staub is his name.
You know what? I want this game to count, and I want to pick against Colorado. And the fact that they're starting their third string quarterback makes it a lot easier. Give me Houston. I don't even know if Houston's 2-0 or 0-2. Don't care.
They are 2-0. All
right, give me Houston.
I'm gonna go with Houston too with those quarterback questions.
All right.
Another one tonight of interest: Kansas State and Arizona. Arizona State 2-0. Kansas State 1-2. They are favored by 2.5 on the road tonight.
Kansas State is favored?
They are.
I'm willing to bet the Wildcats win.
Good pick.
Thank you. I still believe there's a good team inside of Kansas State somewhere. Yet they've looked awful. So are they going to Florida State this season, as in just be awful all year, or are they going to bounce back at some point? They're on the road?
They're on the road.
Give me Arizona.
Oh, wow. Bear down. I'm going to go with Kansas State. I agree with you, too. I think there's something good in there. I think they get out of it. The last remaining game, it's like a 14.5 point spread, but it's of interest because it's $8 to get in, so not interesting to these folks. But
oh, wow.
New Mexico at UCLA. UCLA is 0-2. If they lose, I don't know if Deshaun Foster makes it to the next week.
Dude, there are hot dogs more expensive than the tickets to that game.
That's right.
New Mexico's a 14-point favorite?
14.5 point underdog.
Oh, that makes more sense. That's why I was so surprised. I'll take UCLA.
Yeah.
I guess we're picking these games because we're talking about them. All right, let's get to the other ones. I'm writing down my picks because I don't trust you.
Okay.
I've trusted you the past 2 weeks, and I don't know if I can continue to do that.
Doesn't trust me either.
Yeah,
So
Terrell's smart.
it all works together. How about Clemson at Georgia Tech? Clemson is favored by 2.5.
Now we're getting into teams I'm much more familiar with. You go first, because I had Clemson all the way to the Final Four. Then they were 0-1, and then they were down 16-0 at halftime to Troy last weekend. And then I've said all offseason, people aren't talking about Georgia Tech, who led the ACC in rushing last year, have a bunch of people back, including their quarterback. People aren't talking about them enough. I need a minute. You go first. I'm not going to go based off your pick, but I'm just like, I need to process for a minute. You go.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a big game. Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck usually rally something together, getting upset more often than not. Haynes King obviously has been their leader. I think they get the win here. I mean, this is in Atlanta. Once again, their coach has kind of been known making a name for a legend killer, if you will, Randy Orton.
I like it.
But at least getting upset. So I like this one. I like Georgia Tech to get the upset.
I'm not bailing on my Final Four college football playoff team. Give me Clemson.
All right, fair enough.
They figured out and put it together.
Again, this big spread, so maybe not even worth it. But Wisconsin at Alabama, 20.5.
I mean, are you going to take Wisconsin?
I'm not.
It's not even worth it. Next game.
All right, that one doesn't count. Georgia at Tennessee. Georgia favored by 3.5. I believe they won the last 8 against the Vols.
Ooh. There's some good football on this weekend, man. I tell you what.
It's good weekend.
I love Husker football, but I'm glad our game is early. There's a lot of good games in the afternoon and evening. Where's it at?
This one is in Knoxville.
If it was in Athens, I would take Georgia blindly. Man, Tennessee's look good. Do you really think Joey Aguilar is an upgrade from Nico?
Appears to be. They even he'll throw it downfield a little more than Nico would.
I'm going to be rooting for Tennessee, but I am going to take Georgia.
I like the pick there. I'm going to be rooting for Georgia, but I'm going to pick Tennessee.
Okay. So you like the pick, but you went the complete opposite in every way. Okay.
Well, I honestly think they have Georgia a little bit scares you with the Austin P game. I think Tennessee's feeling it, but again, there seems to be a coaching mismatch or some. Kirby Smart's got something on the Vols. I think most of all, it's overwhelming talent. But
so hold on, are you taking Tennessee now?
I'm taking Tennessee though.
But
I think this is where the momentum
Okay.
all comes together for Josh
Okay.
Heupel.
We need to take a break. We'll finish our picks in the last segment. Briefly go over Nebraska soccer's big time comeback draw last night. So 2 times, once last night. It happens quite often, but recently, once last night, once this morning, I've had people in trucks yell at me while I'm walking, and I turn around ready to start swinging, and they're like, "Love the show, man!" And I'm like, "Oh, throw the pose, thumbs up." So if you see me out in public, Don't startle me, but I am a friendly guy. Feel free to show me some love. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Make this your best football season yet with help from Limitless Male. If you're struggling with low energy, muscle loss, brain fog, belly fat, mood swings, it's likely low testosterone, and Limitless Male can fix that. We've helped over 100,000 men feel stronger, leaner, sharper, and more like themselves again. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Take control. Book your free consult today at limitlessmale.com. That's limitlessmale.com.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
You've been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn. At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law Group at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
And electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Farmers know it all starts with the soil. At Carbon Connections, they're helping you unlock its full potential. Their high-quality humic acid improves nutrient uptake, boosts root development, and enhances soil structure, so your crops get more from every acre. But it doesn't stop there. With a full lineup of crop protection products, they help you reduce synthetic inputs while protecting yields and profits. Smarter inputs, healthier soils, better returns. It's time to grow more naturally. Visit Carbon Connections on Facebook or call them today at 402-947-1476 to learn how they can help your farm thrive. Carbon Connections, unlocking your potential. Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right, real quick update. Nebraska soccer, late comeback, leads to draw conference opener. All right. Regan Rabe and Ella Rudney netted 2 goals in the last 7 minutes of the game, and the Nebraska soccer team tied with Minnesota. It says Golden Gophers. I thought they were just the Gophers now. With the Minnesota Gophers, 2-2 on Thursday evening at Barbara Hibner Stadium. The Huskers moved to 5-0-3, 0-0-1 in the Big Ten, while Minnesota moves to 4-2-1 overall, 0-0-1 in the Big Ten as well. Quick volleyball update. 7 Big Ten volleyball programs were among this week's AVCA Top 25, as announced on Monday. Number 1, Nebraska. Number 6, Wisconsin. Number 12, Penn State. Number 13, Minnesota. Number 14, Purdue. Number 16, USC. 24, UCLA. Oregon and Indiana received votes as well. 7 Big Ten programs remain undefeated through the first 2 weeks of play. The Big Ten leads all Division I conferences with 7 undefeated teams, followed by the ACC with 6, Big 12 with 5, SEC with 2, and Big East with 2. 33 teams boast an unblemished record in all. All right, let's finish our picks here. What do we got, Jake?
All right, yes, to avoid the big point spreads, but we got another one I think is might actually, one of us might pick the underdog.
Ooh, okay.
South Florida, number 18, and number 5, Miami. Remember, the game's on the CW, so find out where the CW network is before Saturday. But also, Miami favored by 17.5.
I'm going to take Miami. But if you said, could I have USF in the points, I would take USF in the points.
Yeah.
I'll take Miami. What about you?
Yeah, I'll take Miami, too. It's tough to beat, win 3 tough games like that in a row. Though I don't think the Boise State one was a fluke. I mean, they clearly better than the Boise State.
USF's a good team.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Number 16, Texas A&M at number 8, Notre Dame. Fighting Irish, favored by 6.5.
I'll take Notre Dame. I don't think they lose 2 big games early on. This one's at home. A&M's always got the talent to follow through. You never know what's going to happen. So give me Notre Dame.
I love Marcel Reed, and I think that Texas A&M pulls off the upset.
Ooh.
Go ahead and pick up the upset.
Notre Dame goes from playing for a national title to being 1-2.
That's right.
Ooh, all right.
A couple other games here, maybe not so. That's kind of all the big ones. Actually, let's just do one more. Minnesota at Cal. Minnesota favored by 2.5.
Didn't Cal lose like their top 5 running backs to the transfer portal or something in the offseason?
They did, but they got a freshman quarterback that they're pretty excited about. And it is on the road. It's at 9 o'clock. I think 9:30, in fact, local time. So Minnesota's going to be adjusting their bodies.
So it's going to be like 11 o'clock Minnesota time?
Yeah.
That's jacked up. Why would they do that? I know why they did it. TV revenue. Dude, I would have gone Minnesota easily, but that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I still think Cal's really bad. Give me Minnesota.
So Cal did beat Oregon State 34-15 already, but Oregon State is 0-2. So that's kind of a tough read there. Look out for their freshman quarterback. Tough to say his name, so I won't. But JKS maybe will be the nickname a lot of people will go with. I don't know. Minnesota has kind of a history of losing these games, but
I'm taking Minnesota.
I'm rowing the boat too. I'll row the boat. Nervous about it. Very nervous.
Do you wear dress clothes with no socks as well?
Only on.
Did you miss a game?
Saturday.
You missed a game.
What was that?
Florida LSU.
Florida LSU. I did miss that one.
Holy cow! Did you miss that?
LSU by 7.5.
I have an amazing stat. You want to know what it was?
What's that?
What it is? Because it's at LSU. So
Yeah.
this was in the swamp. Florida had 49 more plays than LSU last year and lost at home by 11 points.
Oof. That's a crazy stat.
Dude, that is absurd. That's what big plays will do for you if you're LSU. They had chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. I'm taking LSU. I don't know what's going on down in Gainesville right now. Give me LSU.
Yeah, good luck, Florida. I'm going LSU too.
I really just wanted to share that stat. I thought it was a crazy stat. All right, anything else?
I think that's it for now.
Have a great weekend. Don't miss me too much, Jake. Go Big Red and always remember to throw the bones.
Farmers know it all starts with the soil. At Carbon Connections, they're helping you unlock its full potential. Their high-quality humic acid improves nutrient uptake, boosts root development, and enhances soil structure, so your crops get more from every acre. But it doesn't stop there. With a full lineup of crop protection products, they help you reduce synthetic inputs while protecting yields and profits. Smarter inputs, healthier soils, better returns. It's time to grow more naturally. Visit Carbon Connections on Facebook or call them today at 402-947-1476 to learn how they can help your farm thrive. Carbon Connections, unlocking your potential.
Time for a new heating and cooling system? Get the options, brand, and efficiency that best fits your family and your home. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love.